Hi guys. I want to introduce you to this lab that we're going to be doing over the next couple days. It's called the Moons of Jupiter, and this was actually directly inspired by some photos that I took over the summer. So over the summer, I brought the telescope home, as you guys know, and I was looking at Jupiter, and I was trying to get photos of Jupiter because you can see all of the moons of Jupiter with the telescope pretty easily. And you can see, if you want to count them, there's one, two, three, four moons of Jupiter that are visible. There's a lot more than that are much smaller that are not visible with the telescope. But these four were actually first spotted by Galileo back in 1600, 1610 or so. And he was making observations of these moons and concluded that they were revolving around Jupiter. And so that was a really big revolutionary thing at that time period because that kind of proved the fact that, not everything orbits around the Earth. So anyway, so you watched that video about that earlier, but this lab, I want to show you exactly what you're going to be doing for this. And I found a really, really neat virtual software online, and I did most of the work for you. So if you just scan through some of this stuff, it kind of talks about the Galilean observations and the moons and what they're doing and all that stuff. So you can look through that. But let me just go to the actual software. I had to download this software onto my computer, but you don't have to because I did all of the work for you, and you can thank me later, okay? Because it's a lot of work to do this. So this software is put out by the University in Gettysburg. Interesting. And what you do is you run the software for a certain day, whatever day you want, at whatever time you want, and it will show you a picture of Jupiter, which you can kind of see on the screen there. And you can zoom in on it. You have 200 times, 300 times, 400 times magnification there, so you can zoom right in on everything. The 100 times, which is approximately what my telescope was showing, 100 magnification, shows you all four moons. So this one way out here, there's Jupiter, and then 1, 2, and 3 on the right-hand side there. Now, what you had to do for this is you have to record the location of these moons over a time period of about a month. Okay, because what we want to do, our ultimate goal here is to figure out how long does it take all of these moons to go around Jupiter. So we just want to collect data over a long period of time, which is exactly what Galileo was doing. He was looking through his telescope and he was measuring approximate distances away from Jupiter. To do that on this program, you just have to click on the moon, and it'll tell you that that's uh, Io, the closest moon to Jupiter, and it tells you where it's located, and you just click record, and it records that data point. But then you also want to do all the other moons too. So you click on this one right here, that's Europa. So I record that, and then I click on this one over here. If I can click on it exactly, it's a little bit tricky sometimes. Ganymede, okay, and that's recorded. And then I click on this last one, which is Callisto, and there we go. We have all four moons collected, and you can see their locations, east or west. The only one to the east of Jupiter is Callisto. It's way out there. And so I collected information for that day. And then I just go to the next day, 24 hours later would be December 4th when I'm recording this. And you would repeat that process all over again. Click on all the moons, record all the moons, and then you would get a whole bunch of data. That data I've already done for you, so you don't have to do a thing. And again, thank me later. This took me a long time last night to do this. So I've put the data together, and you'll see a link to this. But here's all the information for most of the month of December. And you can see occasionally you'll run into some cloudy days. It actually shows like clouds in the sky, so you can't observe anything. So in this information, you'll see day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way down to day 30. Um, and for now, you'll see that some days are cloudy, and that's fine. We'll just skip that data. And that happened to Galileo too. He couldn't observe every night, so he ran into some cloudy nights. Anyway, so these are all the information for all the data for all the different moons there. So you're going to make actually five graphs, okay, from this data. The first graph is just everything. So you're just going to highlight all the information here, and you're going to go up to Insert, and you're going to click on Chart, and that's going to make a really awesome looking graph. it's pretty complicated. It looks pretty funky, right? I mean, there's a lot going on there. You have all 4 moons, Callisto, Ganymede, Europa, and Io. They're all different colors. You can see there's occasionally some missing information right in here. That's the cloudy day. So you'll see that. But overall, you can kind of see some stuff going up and down like that. Now, I'm just enlarging that a little bit, and you might want to do that too so you can look at it a little bit closer. What I'm going to do with this information is I just want to edit it a little bit, and I would like you to do the same. Chart type, we're just going to change this slightly. If you go down here, it says smooth line chart, just to smooth out the lines a little bit, make it a little bit nicer looking. And then the other thing we're going to want to do is click on customize, go to chart style, and you'll see it's already clicked on smooth. But something else that's interesting here is we can actually interpret what's going on those cloudy days, the days that we're missing information, by clicking right here where it says plot null values. Okay, so if I click on plot null values, there it goes. It fills in that information. All right, so that's one of our 5 graphs that we need. We want all of them. So I'm going to copy this. Okay, and I'm going to copy the chart. And I'm going to put it into the lab, and the lab is available to you too. So it says under part 1, watch my video, which you're watching right now. But underneath of that, it says insert graphs here. And this is where you would actually put that. You don't have to link it to your spreadsheet. You can paste it unlinked if you want to. It doesn't really matter. And that will go right into the lab right there. Okay. Now you're going to also do this with each individual moon. So you're just showing the moon, one moon on the graph. And to do that, it's pretty simple. I'm going to delete this one so you can watch just this individual moon. Okay. So for Io, it's easy. Just highlight these 2 columns. If you want to highlight the day and let's say a different one, I'm going to highlight the day. I'm going to hold Control on my keyboard. So I'm holding the Control key, and then I'm going to click on, let's say, this column right here, which is Europa. So now I have these 2 columns highlighted, and I did that by just holding Control, and then again insert chart. Now it's just going to give me the exact same thing, but just with one of the moons. And we're going to have to clean up some of this stuff, and you should clean up some stuff on the other thing. This is, I'm just going to call this Europa. Okay, I don't need the whole title there. This, what we're measuring here is distance away from Jupiter, and we measured that in a unit called a Jupiter diameter, which is kind of funny. It's essentially the diameter of Jupiter used as a unit of measure. Okay, so that's Jupiter diameters, okay, away, either to the east or to the west. Negative is to the east, positive is to the west of it. And so you can see it going up and down there. Let's clean up a couple of other things. So again, let's make this a smooth line chart. Let's customize this so that we're filling in some of that information that was missing. So go to chart style, go to plot null values, okay? And now we have that filled in exactly. Now, one other thing that you might want to do just to keep it consistent, in this graph, Europa was red. I'm just going to change this color. I'm just going to click on the actual data there. I'm going to change that so that it's red. That way I'm staying consistent. And you can do that with all of them. Just change the color of all of them. Okay. So that's the first thing, is get all these graphs made, all 5 of those graphs. I'm going to copy this and put it into the lab. Okay, and you can do all 5 graphs, just put them right next to each other, paste them unlinked, boom, okay? So that's what you're doing first step. Now, second thing you're going to need to do with this information is going to come in part 2 here. You're going to analyze these graphs, and I'm going to make a separate video for that. But that's just the graph making part of this. So if you have any questions, that's what you're doing today, and we'll continue working on some of the other stuff later. Okay? All right. Let me know if you have any questions.